Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of To the Magic and Beyond. My name is Jordan, here with my co-host Michelle.
What's up?
And we are here to talk about Michelle's post-trip. If you listened to episode 3 last week, Michelle did a kind of a pre-trip episode of them getting ready for their spring break Disney trip.
And it was exciting. Yeah.
And like we talk about all the time, you go in with a plan and then inevitably you're going to have to pivot. And
Yes.
you guys had some pivoting.
We
so
did have pivoting.
we're going to kind of run down just that post trip with you guys and see how everything ended up. But real quick, for those of you who may have missed it, or just to recap to remind you, here's kind of what you guys set off as intending to do.
Yeah.
So your original check-in date was going to be that Sunday. And the last time we talked on the podcast, you were maybe debating on just driving all the way Saturday and maybe getting an extra night at like All-Star or something like that. And then so Sunday you talked about maybe doing your Blizzard Beach for your check-in day with the free water park that Disney's doing this year. Monday, y'all were just going to rest a little bit, enjoy the resort, maybe go putt-putt.
Yeah.
And then that's when the rest of your party was getting there. And then Tuesday, hit the ground running. Animal Kingdom, Wednesday, Magic Kingdom, Thursday, Hollywood Studios. You guys pre-selected your lightning lanes, did all that fun stuff, and had the DAS pass approval. And we were hoping for maybe a Bippity-Boppity boutique reservation, maybe.
Yeah.
And then you set up a couple dining reservations, not on dining plan, but just wanted to do a couple things.
That's accurate.
Cool. So let's hear how it actually went.
Yeah. So
Started off strong, right?
It did. Yeah. I was strong, all right. I'm traveling for work.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in healthcare, so I'm traveling out to all our regions. Doing some education and some things like that. And so I needed to get to 2 places in 1 week. I'm as overachieving at work as I am at Disney.
You can
so
do it all.
I decided to drive to West Tennessee and meet with our staff over there.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back to Nashville on Wednesday. Tuesday night, I guess it was. And then I was flying out on Wednesday morning to North Carolina. And I'm kind of particular about my flights.
It's fair.
Atlanta is always Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can't depend on the airlines to be on time, and you can't in 2025, you're just at the mercy of everything.
Whatever is happening.
Yep. So I had to go through Atlanta on the way. But on the way home, because I'm excited for vacation on Friday, right?
You were flying home Friday night, supposed to be leaving Saturday morning.
4 a.m. Saturday morning in a car to drive.
Not a lot of time for error in
No
there.
room for error, which means Murphy came to visit, right? Murphy's Law. So went through Atlanta on the way. No problem. Got on the train. Next gate was the first stop. Perfect on the way over.
Convenient.
Right? Yeah, it was great. I ended up in North Carolina. Great. On Friday, I get to the Greensboro, North Carolina airport near High Point, North Carolina, and have a layover, like I'm waiting for like 3 hours, which was great. I planned on that. I was able to catch up on work. I was getting some lunch, had a couple calls to make. And so then get to my gate and the plane was just a hair late that first flight because I had to essentially do a puddle jump from Greensboro to Charlotte, North Carolina. So was a little late. And I mean, fraction.
Yeah, not anything to be alarmed.
No, I'm not even worried. Get on the flight. We sat on the tarmac for 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
Something about air traffic issues. And can I just say to all the airline people that may or may not be listening, no one wants to hear about air traffic issues when you're on the plane.
Right.
Because you're going into air traffic.
Yeah.
So you want to be on time. You're really upset, but then at the same time, you're like, but I'm not rushing anything.
Right, yeah. Figure it out.
So we do finally take off, and like, I always meet friends. You know that. I have friends everywhere. Met a nice lady that was going to Seattle from Charlotte.
Yikes. All the way across the country.
She wasn't making it.
Yeah.
And neither
I
was Michelle.
Neither were you.
Neither was Michelle. So get off the plane, and I'm at A, and I'm at E, and I have to run all the way to A5 in the Charlotte airport. And I'm not a runner, folks. Those of you that have known me for a long, long time know that I ran in high school because I was told to run,
and
or it was going to be worse. That was the last time I've wanted to run anywhere. So I ran with about a 20-pound backpack. About halfway, all of those ground escalators, the flat ones to help you get through the airport, all down.
Oh,
all not moving.
Of course.
Not helping me. Almost fell, and at some point went, this isn't a good plan.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to have to speed walk. I'm going to do my Disney walk. It's practice, right?
Yeah.
Rope drop walk. I get to the gate, and I don't know, about 30 feet from the desk, and they look up at me, and they go, "Are you Michelle?" As I see the door is closed behind them, and I go,
"No.
Guessing I didn't make it." "No, ma'am, you didn't make it." So they were going to try to get me on another flight to Nashville.
Right.
Problem was, nothing was going right.
Yeah.
It's going to be late, and then I'm supposed to drive to Disney.
And there were also supposed to be storms that night in Nashville.
Very bad storms coming.
Knows?
Not really sure on the ETA. Like you thought you knew when they were coming.
Right.
So I'm like, this is terrible. So I had to go to a different help desk because you can't ever get anything done at the gate.
Yeah.
They were able to get me a flight to Orlando.
Okay.
And I had to, reach out to work because this is part of my work trip.
Yep.
So I had to get that. It was a little bit more money. There was a change. I had to pay a flight change fee.
And originally you were going to be driving Saturday morning with your daughters.
Right.
So now you're on your way to Orlando on Friday night.
With no clothes.
With no clothes.
No Disney clothes. No regular people clothes. Everything I have is dirty in my suitcase. And so I call home and I'm like, hey, get on Southwest and book a flight and try to, you need to do it early because the storms are coming and the airport's probably going to shut down.
Yeah.
So you want to be on that first or second flight out. So they were able to take care of that.
Good.
In the meantime, I don't have a place to stay. So I called my handy dandy travel agent.
Hello.
Share the magic with Jordan. And she's able to get me out at Disney Springs. You got me out at Disney Springs in the Hilton.
Yeah. Good Neighbor.
Yeah,
Hilton.
Good Neighbor Hotel. It's big, guys. Like, if you're ever interested in staying there, it's nice.
Yeah.
Has 2 huge wings. Has a laundry facility. I would know because I was doing laundry at 1 o'clock in the morning when I got there, so as I could have something to wear the next day. Not a brand new hotel, but definitely nice, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a terrible rate.
No.
I don't even remember what it was, like $168 or something. It was not terrible.
Yeah.
Before
for Friday night, day of booking.
And a 1 day only reservation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was good. Super nice. A lot of spring break people there.
Oh, wow.
Like it was a busy place.
Yeah.
And just Uber, took a Lyft from the airport over to the hotel, not doing a travel car or anything like that. And so then on Saturday, you were able to get us, we got a night at the All-Stars on Saturday night.
So you guys had decided pre-trip that you were just going to go ahead, drive all the way to Orlando on Saturday instead of doing halfway. And we got you guys a 1 night at All-Star Sports, which was the last value that you hadn't stayed at yet. So checking those off the list.
Check the box. and I will say this, my other daughter, the youngest one, does not like sports at all. So we've never really wanted to stay there because Katie was not interested. But, I mean, the All-Stars have all been renovated and they're all the same. Yeah. Except, so when I say that, I just mean your room is the same. It's the same pull down, same artwork, same bathroom configuration, same floors. If you didn't know you were at sports, you wouldn't know you're at sports. From the room. Inside. And then really like your dining, and they're set up very similar.
Okay.
Just the characters, are different. Like, there's a giant football field.
Right. Versus
versus the movie stuff like Toy Story and things like that. And then has music everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? We used the pool on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Very importantly, let me say this. I always do online check-in just because I like to be checked in.
Yeah.
But I always go to the desk when I get there.
Still important.
That way they know you're there.
Yeah.
So the people that get there, if there are rooms, they're not saving them for people that are coming in later.
Right.
They're going to give
They'll
those
give it
rooms
to
to
you.
the folks that are there.
Yeah.
You just may not be where you wanted to be or
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, and you can talk to them about that, and they're
Yeah.
very helpful.
Mhm.
My room was ready.
Oh, perfect.
At first, when I was talking to her, she wasn't sure it was, but then she was like, "Oh, and your room is now ready." And I went,
Yay.
"Oh, yay." And it wasn't far. We were pretty close, I think, to the front. And so they ended up meeting me. Their Uber, Lyft brought them over. And we unpacked and kind of relaxed.
Yeah.
And just, we needed lunch and, you know, whatever, because we were all tired. Like,
Yeah.
it was a whole different, we're trying to reset.
You had nothing go to plan.
Right. And
But you made it.
and in fairness, let me say this. We actually got an extra water park day.
Yes.
So we
You
could
could
have
have.
gone to Blizzard
Mhm.
Beach on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
Because we were switching
They were
hotels.
separate, yeah, separate
Yeah.
reservations, separate hotels. So you would, if you do a split stay this year with the free water park, you're gonna get it on both check-in days,
Yeah,
which is
and,
nice.
And we thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
and really the sun, it would, if you were looking for just straight sun the whole day, Saturday would have been better.
Yeah.
But Sunday was a little overcast, but the
Yeah.
temperature was still good. It didn't rain on us then. It rained later.
Yeah.
And it was good. But we decided just not to do that.
Yeah.
So
Just relax, recover.
you got it. So we did that, and just had some food and that kind of thing. And then and we did the pool. That was the other thing, that one of the things that we wanted to do. And I'm pulling my notes up because I'm old and I can't remember everything. Yeah. So we did the pool, and then we had gotten a reservation at Steakhouse 71 for lunch. So
good.
we had done that together
Yeah.
back in the fall.
And you guys sent me pictures, and I was
Yeah.
living vicariously through you.
Yeah,
this
because it was
time.
just as good. That didn't disappoint
it looked
at
so
all.
good.
A great server, very personable. Talk to you about your trip, and that's the thing. Every now and then you're going to get a server at Disney that's like a server anywhere else,
right.
and doesn't. But overall,
Yeah.
they're pretty engaged in what you're doing,
Mhm.
and they're happy you're there.
Yeah.
'Cause
Makes it a
that's
little
their
more
livelihood.
fun.
It does, and you know, a lot of times they'll give you some insight. Like
Yeah.
she was giving us some insight on the dining plan, even though we use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in some ways, you and I are both experts on
Yeah.
a lot of things, and we are experts on what we do.
Right. There's always new things to
There's
learn.
always new things to consider, and I'm always
Yeah.
open.
Yes.
I'm open to going more. I'm open to more places to eat
Yeah.
and different things, and just utilizing things a little bit
Yeah.
different. So she was super great. The chocolate cake has not changed.
So good.
Best thing on the menu. Waffle fries were great.
Yes.
And really, I think for three of us, and one of us got the burger, which is supposed to be the best burger on property. I don't know, because I don't gravitate toward burgers.
Yeah.
Katie said it was very good.
Okay.
we
It looks
both,
great in the
yep,
picture.
it did. And we both, Courtney and I both had the hanger steak again.
Oh, that's my favorite.
And it was really, really good. And then we all shared the cake and actually took cake back with us.
Let's just go back right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're ready.
I'm ready to go get some Steakhouse 71.
And so that was really, and the pool was nice. And here's the thing that I did notice at sports. A lot of times when you use the smaller pools,
Mm-hmm.
they're not a feature pool,
Yeah.
like at all.
Right,
They're
and
literally, they
pretty
call
basic.
them a quiet pool,
Yeah.
right? It's just a pool. A lot of times sometimes there's a laundry by there. Depends on how big the resort is and things
Mhm.
like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this actually had a feature in it.
Oh,
It had
cool.
a little fountain
Yeah.
that was in it, which you don't see a lot, and it
Mhm.
had the little ledge there too.
Okay.
Over, like, you get the entry ledge where
Yes.
littles could just kind of splash right there,
Yeah.
instead of hopping down into
Straight
3
right
or 4
into
foot,
it,
whatever
yeah.
it is. And so that was nice. Plenty of chairs, and that wasn't the main pool. We
Yeah.
didn't even we didn't use the main pool. We
Okay.
used the one because it was closer.
Yeah.
We were like, we'll just
And
hang
just
out
as nice.
here. Katie was reading and
Yeah.
doing some schoolwork, I think, and so Courtney and I just hung out there. So the next day we didn't get up super early.
Yeah.
We were moving resorts.
Right. You're moving over to Port Orleans French Quarter,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the last moderate
Yes.
that we've not
So
stayed
y'all
at.
got to check off your last value and your last moderate, and you got a bonus good neighbor stay
That's it,
all
yeah,
in
at
one
the
trip.
So I will say this: when you do a split stay, and this is all choice and what you want to do in life, right?
Mhm.
You can go to the luggage folks, right, up front at every hotel, and you can go up there and you can check your stuff, and they'll move it for you for free.
Yeah.
You're expected to tip, folks.
Right.
So don't use folks to
if
do
you're
your
not
work
ready. Yeah.
If you're not going to do
Make
it.
sure you have some cash on
That's
hand.
it. Tip them. They don't take Apple Pay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
so
have
good
to,
old cash.
or Venmo. Have some cash. So we could have done that, or we could just take a lift over to the other, and that's what we did. We just took a lift, and transferred ourselves. And not because I didn't want to tip, just because I just wanted to go ahead and do it. And a lot of times, if you're standing there with luggage, and they see you, and there's a room available, guys, you just got to use whatever you've got, right?
Yeah.
And so my luggage was what I had. So we got over to French Quarter.
Did you use the minivan?
That
service?
is where we use the minivan.
Okay.
Yep. The Lyft minivan.
Yes.
And those are awesome. Guys, you're going to pay more money. Double. It's double. I mean, let's just be honest.
But it's
like,
a
my
cute
husband's
car.
not here, but he'll listen later. But it's so cute because they are polka dotted.
Yeah.
And like we had a SUV, I think it was a Chevy Tahoe.
Okay.
Something like that. They'll have car seats for you if you need them. And let me say
Plenty
this,
of
though.
space for your luggage.
But they are not going to break car seat rules
Okay.
for anybody. So don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
If you got to have two, you got to have two.
Yeah.
If you're going to use it, you're just going to have to pay. But it's super great, and they're super knowledgeable. He was great. He's worked at Disney for like, I don't know, producer Courtney, did he say like 18 years?
Wow.
Yeah, something like that.
That's
Started
awesome.
out at the parks.
Oh.
Also, I think he had worked in maybe at some of the hotels.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And he had started doing the minivans like in 2019.
Okay.
Before
so
COVID.
Doing it
And
for
then
a
when
while.
COVID hit, they got shut down.
Yeah.
But then he was one of the first ones to call back.
Got brought
but
back.
he was super knowledgeable. We talked about all things. He did tell us, let me think here for just a second, because he told us a fun fact.
Was it Coronado?
Was it Coronado, producer Courtney? What did he say was as big as Magic Kingdom?
I feel like you texted me that
I
it
think
was
it is.
Coronado.
I think it's Coronado is the size of Magic Kingdom.
That's wild.
Like you could put Magic Kingdom inside of Coronado's resort.
Springs.
Isn't that crazy?
Which I've always heard. I've never personally stayed there, but something that you guys have told me and I've heard from other clients who have stayed there was that if you're not in one of like the preferred rooms or the Grand Tower, like it can be a lot of walking depending on where you are. So when you think about that, it's like, okay, that's a lot of walking.
Now I know, right? And it's one of the convention hotels.
Right.
And so he was just, when you talk, if you're willing, listen, if you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk in the car, right? You can do the little quiet ride.
Right.
But I'm
if you
always
want to learn
open.
stuff, they're happy to chat.
And so we talked about some great things like that. He got us over pretty quick. And of course, when you take those, they know the shortcuts, and because they work for Disney, and this is their property.
They drive the property all day, every day.
All day, every day. And I think if you're staying, not me, but I think because I'm not paying for it, but I think if you're staying a club level, or higher, I think you can actually get a minivan from the airport.
Oh, nice.
Like you can't if you're not doing club level, and I don't do club level.
Yeah.
And not because, and I've actually had it offered before at a reduced rate. And listen, club level is great, and if that's how you live, I think that's wonderful. But the snack, you're not getting Mickey waffles. You're just getting a waffle if you get one.
Yeah.
It's just how it works. And if I'm there, I want a Mickey waffle, right?
Waffle.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
So we did get over. French Quarter is so cute. I had been before, never stayed there.
Yeah.
And so we get up there, and I'm checking in person, and the room's not ready.
Oh.
And that's always the sadness, right? But we did want to get on to the water park anyway because we were going, and we were ready.
Check your bags, change into your bathing suits if you did just come from the airport, but you guys were able to already
we had
be
our
in your
bags
stuff.
ready. We had those separate bags ready to go. And so we were going to go straight over there anyway. So we went ahead and went out to the luggage assistant folks out front and just checked our bags in. Again, when you come back later, like when your room's ready, you can just pick up the phone and call them. They'll bring your bags at their convenience when they're not busy.
Yeah.
If it's important to you, like it was us, to go ahead and just start unpacking, you just stop back by there. They'll bring your bags out and you can take them to your room. French Quarter is small, so you're not lugging them really far, and so that's what we did. So we just took our own. And we went on to Blizzard Beach, which is super, super
It's so cute.
Yes. Loved it. And, you know, we did, I don't know, probably 5
Oh, good.
5 slides.
Yeah.
We don't do
Didn't
body
do Summit
slides.
Plummet?
No. Not doing Summit Plummet. Did take the chairlift up there, so I got to see it really close.
I got to use the chairlift.
I was like, hey, there it is, but I'm not going. And then we did the family raft ride up there.
Oh, that's my favorite. I love the family raft ride.
Which, can I say, is pretty, I mean, it's moving.
Uh-huh.
And, again, producer Courtney, did that have the speed bumps? Was that the one that had the speed bumps? No, that was the other one that I thought I was going to die on. Right?
Sounds like you had a great time.
It was great. It was great. So, yeah, we did we all did that. We did a few things together. The Lazy River's great. And they have the awesome, I mean, it was awesome for me because I'm old. They had a pool floaty where it's a tube around your arms, but it has a little seat in it.
Yes.
So you don't have to try to figure out how to get your body in the tube without flipping over. Yeah.
Those are new since I've been there.
Yeah,
so.
buddy, it was good. I liked it. So we did some of that. We didn't really eat there. We got some donuts. They had some fried donuts.
Ooh.
And powdered sugar. Those were good.
Sounds good.
And I had a frozen, I think, raspberry lemonade.
Ooh.
And it's beautiful. It really is done well.
Yeah.
And then we did do this other raft ride. Courtney and I did. Katie wasn't wanting to ride that one.
Aww.
So we went up to do it. And there was a little bit of confusion up there as they were directing people, you know, to get in your tube and how to do your tube. And it kind of went straight down.
Oh, wow.
In your tube. And so I'm kind of having buyer's remorse.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just go back down.
I don't know. And you could choose to go in an open slide.
Oh, yes.
Open,
or
more
closed. Yeah.
And I'm get sick, so I had to do the open, and Courtney chose to do that one too. But like, I get up there and you have to put your feet up on this thing and then they launch it, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm scared. And the girl's like, oh, you're going to be fine. And I went, am I? So there was a little entertainment up there for the folks that work there. Because I think when Courtney was going, she was like, I think I scared your mom. And Courtney was like, you
Probably.
did. As you could hear me screaming all the way down, right? So we got down through there. We finished up there. I had to meet someone at Disney Springs.
How were the crowds? Because I know that was one thing that had you considering.
If you're going,
yes or no,
take the bus from the resort. You do have to transfer at Animal Kingdom for Blizzard Beach if you're going between now and the first week of May.
Okay.
I think it's May 5th or something.
And then it switches over to Typhoon
And
Lagoon.
then Typhoon goes to Disney Springs.
Okay.
And you'll catch a water park bus there. And I say that just because with the crowds and people are going, I would not say at all, like, don't go because it's too crowded.
Right.
But they do shut those lots down.
Yeah, the parking runs out pretty quick.
And so they're just small lots.
Yeah.
So if you're staying on property, just take the bus. They work great. There were plenty that came. The girls took the bus back. They didn't have to wait very long. Okay. I had to run over to Disney Springs, so I grabbed a lift over to Disney Springs to pick up. I was meeting someone I used to work with. They'd picked up my Cinderella anniversary bucket,
so
my new popcorn bucket that we've got on display here for those of you that can see it. And they went on back to the resort. Perfect. And so that was pretty much that day. My brother came over. He's working in Orlando during the week, so he came over and we had a nice dinner. He couldn't believe, and he's not as big a Disney fan as I am.
Yeah,
but he has, since they've lived in Florida, gone quite a bit. Yeah, and he was like, "This is really good food."
Oh, good
for like a resort.
Yeah,
I think he had jambalaya, or I think that's what he had. I can't really remember.
Yeah.
And so Courtney and I had a po' boy shrimp.
And was that just in the food court?
Just in the food court
French
right
Quarter?
There. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. So at French Quarter, you've got the Scat Cats bar. There's live music in there.
Oh, cool.
There's the piano guy that's always there.
Yeah.
I did not go listen to him this time, but he's supposedly great. And then next door is the other part of Scat Cats, which is the beignets.
Ooh.
And the coffee. We did get some Mickey beignets.
You did send me some pictures of those. They looked equally as yummy.
Very good, especially when they're hot. We had those twice while we were there. And then there's the food court.
Yeah.
The food court is a touch smaller than at Riverside.
Okay.
But a lot of the same
resort
things.
Too,
it's a smaller resort. It's a sister resort, and they're not sharing buses.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which is the great thing. Now, one night we did get on a bus at one of the parks, and they did say, we didn't think we were getting on. And they were like, French Quarter first, and so they loaded us first, and then they loaded the Port Orleans. So I guess that bus did end up that night, but that was the only time I ever knew that anybody other than us was on the bus.
Yeah.
And in the mornings, they were empty when they showed up.
Okay. So easy, good buses there.
Yep.
Overall, happy with that experience.
Always.
Awesome.
Yeah. Disney Springs is usually the only bus that's slow.
Right. Yeah, as we talked about in the Disney
slow
Springs
to come
episode.
to the resort, and it is slow to pick you up at Disney Springs.
They don't run as often.
That's it. So other than that, like that was really good. Monday, we slept in. We had a reservation at Beaches and Cream over at the Beach and Yacht Club.
Beaches and Cream.
And the pool, like it's closed.
Okay.
So you got to walk by it to get to the restaurant, that's the famous sand bottom saltwater pool. I think I've never used it because I've never stayed there, but everybody wants to use it.
Yes.
Except me. And that's because I'm convinced that in the sand there's presents for you waiting later from little people. Children, like Band-Aids.
Does seem like it could be a little less sanitary than your average pool.
Yeah. So I'm not rushing over to stay there, but I do like to go over and walk around because it makes me feel kind of special just to be over there because it smells good. It's very alluring.
Yeah.
The resort there. It's
fun
area. A great vibe, right?
Yeah.
But the pool's under construction, so it was neat to see what they're doing with it because of the sand on the bottom. That was kind of neat to just see what they're doing with the construction. We had some great food. We sat at the counter.
Oh, nice.
I've never sat at the counter.
Yeah.
But that got us to go ahead and get to sit down because we were a little early.
Yeah.
And they were making the kitchen sinks right in front of us.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So there's a sundae there that's big enough for 1 million people, I think. Yes. It comes out in a legit big metal sink, and they even do this little thing with the lights and everything when people get it.
And it literally, it's called the kitchen sink because it literally has everything in it.
Yes.
Plus the kitchen sink. You know, like that famous saying, like everything. All the ice creams, all the toppings.
And we never get it because
so fun.
We can't eat all that.
Right. It's so much food.
So we did get the No Way Jose, which we always get. So that's the peanut butter and hot fudge and ice cream and some brownie, I think, is in there. But we all have stuff that we eat at Beaches. If you're looking for a restaurant that's not going to break the bank.
Yeah. It's a great option.
And it's like regular food.
It's so fun. Regular food. You can get some ice cream.
Yeah.
I know you guys did not end up doing the putt-putt, but one of the putt-putt courses is over by that area too. So you can kind of make a afternoon or evening out of it. That's a fun combo. My family, when we lived there, we would go on like a Friday or Saturday night. We would go play some putt-putt, and then we'd walk over and get some ice cream at Beaches and Cream afterwards.
Yeah, and that's the only thing we didn't, I mean, probably not the only thing that didn't go quite the way we thought it would. But, and we hate that we missed out, but I don't think those tickets are going to expire.
No,
we're going in May, so we may try to do it in May, and
it's just a fun bonus if you've got time.
We've done it. We've done the Winter Summerland and loved it. So I was wanting to do Fantasia Gardens. So we did that. And then we wanted to go to bed kind of early anyway. The brother left.
Get ready for your park days.
Yeah, that was one of the nights that we got beignets. And then we got ready for Animal Kingdom the next day, which was great.
And now your other party's there. They got there Monday night, right?
They got there late Monday night. For them, I think they got in bed at maybe midnight with the littles. So we had decided, I think when we did the pre-trip, we talk about rope drop a lot because I love to rope drop. But they're not. They got little people, right? Yeah. And my friend, I think she said it 3 times this trip. So Becca, if you're listening, I'm talking about it for you. She's like, I do not understand this rope drop method. She's like, it doesn't save you time. I don't see it's hurry up to wait still. Right. And she's like, I just don't get it. We could sleep.
Not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. So we didn't do it. And Animal Kingdom really isn't a place. It's a half-day park. A lot of people talk about that. We know that they're getting new stuff, and it's going to be an all-day park very soon, next year.
Yep.
But right now,
construction's going.
You can either come in the morning and leave early, or you can come later. And so we just came a little bit later. And
that one, their early entry is so early because the park itself opens up
7:30.
Yeah, and your early entry is 7:30, and that's just a lot, especially if you've got little kids.
And they let you in. So. And Animal Kingdom is one that almost always let you in earlier than 7:30.
Yeah.
So that you're even in sooner. So like if the goal is to be at Flight of Passage for free, not free, but with your park admission,
Yes.
and you want to ride it first thing, then you need to be at the front of the line,
Yeah.
right? So I would say you want to be there before 7,
Yeah.
right, with Disney Transportation. But they had to get there because they have some special needs kids. So they needed to get their Wonderfold wagon, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Wagons are not okay at Disney unless you go through customer service and you get them tagged.
Yes.
Right? And so you can, and there's 2 tags. There's the tag where you just get to have the wagon, and then there's a tag that you can get if you qualify, as that's the wheelchair.
Yes.
As well. And so wheelchairs can go with you through the lines for most lines. It doesn't mean you're getting special treatment or anything. It just means you don't have to disembark and go park that to get your kids.
Your child can stay in the in the wheelchair/wagon for as long as they need.
Yeah.
And you said even on some of the rides they could basically have the wagon on there like you would maybe a wheelchair.
You would if that's what you wanted, because they can strap it down. I think Winnie the Pooh's one that has a wheelchair accessible car. Most don't, but I know that one does. But we didn't use it for that. But it was convenient, it's like if tube feeding was going or anything like that, to have everything with you. And that kind of thing. So,
and again, medically qualified for that.
Yes.
Please don't try to play the system. Make sure it's something that you're not your kid or someone legitimately needs, because Disney they're cracking down on it to make sure that it's people who actually really need to use it.
Right. And a lot of people, Disney's gotten a lot of flack over the course of really about the last year, I guess that's been with the new DAS rules and stuff like that. Guys, there were so many people breaking the rules. They had to do something.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect, and they don't have to do anything except be accessible.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
But they do still have ways to go beyond that.
You got it. So they're trying. So they had to get that done. So actually, they were over there getting their tags. When we got there, no problems. They qualify because they're not playing the system. Right. They got their tags, and then we were able to move on. We got some Tiger Tails, which is my favorite there, at the Creature Comforts, which is to the right. And so we went through that, had some snacks. We had lightning lanes. We did this time. And they had their DAS pass. Yeah. Which we used intermittent, like with that, right? So because I chose not to get Ellie Grace, our little buddy that was with us, because she had the DAS,
the DAS,
right?
yeah.
So we didn't pay for lightning lane for her. I wanted to see how it would work there. Right. I mean, it was like $17.
Yeah, and the big reason for that was because she's little and can only go on like 2 of the rides there. Exactly. So for her, she's 3, so she does have to. She's at the age where she has to have a ticket, and therefore would have had to pay for the lightning lane. And because of how little she is, like, she can't go on half the stuff there, so it wasn't worth buying a lightning lane.
It would have been just paying $17 for nothing, really, for Navi
to go through the line for you.
So like because I think she was able to do the swap, Safari, and she could have done Navi because we rode both of those with her. So we didn't do that, but we just were able to move it and add her. I did mess up at the Safari.
Oh no!
And forgot that that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And they let us in.
Oh, okay.
And they knew, and they were like, but figure that one out.
Because she
could have literally all I would have had to do was get on there. There was one available.
Right.
But we did all the things, and then we also did, we paid for Flight of Passage for the folks that were going to do that. We did some great meet and greets with the kids. We did Doug and Russell, which is up there by the tree. We also, let's see here. Who else did we meet? Oh, Chip and Dale and Daisy and Donald.
Cute.
Yep, over there in their little dinosaur outfits.
Oh, those are my favorite.
So cute. And Dinosaur Land, guys, it's gone.
R.I.P.
It's terrible. It's sad. I mean, and it's
exciting. It's
gonna
be exciting and new, but for those of
but
us
like
who have
when
been
you're
there
walking
for forever,
through and you're used to seeing that big Brontosaurus, not there.
Not there.
Gone. Gone.
Man.
So, but Dinosaur is still there through the end of the year, I think.
Did you guys get to ride it one last time?
We
well,
rode
you're
it.
going back in May,
Yep,
so
but
never mind. You'll be fine. But they got to ride it there last time.
We all rode that, did some rider swapping around to do that. We did both shows. Did The Lion King and
I love
Nemo.
That one.
Yep. And The Lion King, we actually with both shows we took the wagon in as the wheelchair.
Oh,
so
nice.
you may not sit right. Everybody's not going to be horizontal on the
Right.
row. They kind of group you
But you're
around, but kind of
near-
up, but you're all just kind of right there together.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, and so that was really good for the kids, and we did that. And then we did a bunch of picks at the Tree of Life, and we had the most horrible, terrible dinner
Wah, wah.
ever
Aw.
at Tusker House. And for all of you people that love Tusker House, I too once loved Tusker House,
Yeah,
and this is
you guys have
probably
been there a lot,
a
right?
ton over the years.
Yeah.
Love them because the characters are dressed in their safari outfits, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Except for it wasn't, and it wasn't just for me.
Yeah,
Our
everybody.
entire party did not enjoy the food, and that includes the kids' food because they always have a little kids section on the buffets for the mac and cheese and the
Yeah.
chicken strips and whatever.
So-
And that wasn't terrible, but it also wasn't really worth $64.99
right.
per person that we paid. So,
Yeah.
you know, not hating on Disney. Everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
Tusker House may be a bad day.
Yeah.
It was bad enough that for me, who
probably
most
not
people
going back.
think I'm a Disney apologist,
Yeah.
even though I'm not. I just really like it there. But we're not going back for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give it a try again later.
Yeah. But give
but
it
not
some
in
time.
May.
Yeah.
So that was that day. And then everybody went back because the next day was our big Magic Kingdom day.
Whew. Gotta get some rest.
And you had worked some magic on Magic Kingdom.
Yes, we were able to get a Bippity Boppity boutique reservation for Miss Ellie Grace, which for those of you, so the Bippity Boppity boutiques open 60 days in advance, just like your restaurants do. They actually typically drop at midnight, though, for those, just
Yep.
a little tidbit. But because we booked this last minute for your friends, they were well within we were
Oh,
like
yeah.
we were like 3 weeks out
Yeah,
at that
it was
point.
terrible.
Bippity Boppity goes quick. But I guess I'll just throw this in there as a little travel agent perk. If
There
you
you
have a
go.
travel agent, we do have apps and websites that we can use as like watchers, basically, that like alert us when stuff comes up. And I had them on a watch and had many failed attempts because boy, do those things go quick
Yes.
when they pop up. But there was a random drop at like midnight, and I'm a very late night person. Like the 3 days before, they dropped like 10 slots.
Wow.
And even with 10 slots open,
You
I
just
still barely got
got
one.
the one.
So,
Got the one. But you got it
But-
at the perfect time because it was
yeah,
like 9:05.
a.m. Yep.
And early entry that day was 8:30.
Mhm.
Of course, our friends were staying at All Star Music. So just shout out, they have family suites there. So
Yes.
we're staying there in May with the other friends that are going that have small children and needed a full size fridge.
Yes.
The only place on property you're getting a full size fridge.
Yep. Freezer, fridge.
Unless you're staying like in the DVCs.
Yes. Yeah.
one
Those
bedrooms.
ones will have it, but most
Yep.
of your other hotel rooms are going to have your like kind of beverage cooler.
Yeah.
It'll keep your stuff cool, but in this case, this family had medications that needed to be kept in a
Exactly.
freezer, so
Yep.
it works out well for that. And just a lot of space for everybody in those
Yeah,
rooms.
so essentially we're coming from different places, but we were rope dropping there because we thought we'll get a couple rides done before Bibbidi Bobbidi,
Yep.
right up there in Fantasyland,
Mhm.
except for the Reagan clan, my group, we had a ticket mishap.
Yep.
And it happened. So I was on the app paying attention on the way over. And when we were at Animal Kingdom the morning before, we noticed that Katie's magic band wasn't letting her in. Like, it kept spinning and wouldn't do the finger. Well, come to find out, it's not supposed to spin. They're not supposed to let it spin more than twice. It took an extra day of our tickets away.
No.
Yep. So literally, once we checked in at Magic Kingdom,
That was
we were
your
done.
last ticket.
So as much as I hated it, I had to go to guest services
Yep.
as soon as we got there. Not a big line because we were early, but it is frustrating, and you do need to put your patient pants on, like I always tell you,
Mhm.
because while I'm in line to get that fixed, I can see the masses to the
Just
left,
filling in.
because that's also the day that the new rope drop started.
Yes.
And we'll kind of, I know we're going to do a rope drop
Yeah.
episode soon, and so we'll cover it then.
Yeah.
But it's changed
Yes.
a little bit, and so I knew it had changed.
Yeah.
That day was
And
the
that was
first
your
day,
first time experience.
and I'm watching everybody else go in, and I'm
No.
standing in line, and I'm not a good waiter.
But I was here.
Yes, are you going to just let me in? And the answer is no.
Right.
But my plaid vest employee did do
Mhm.
a great job. I had hurricane tickets, so there was a little bit more to it that they had to
Yeah.
go back and look, but I
Yep.
had my numbers for all that. And
yeah.
They had us fixed.
Yeah. Pro tip that you pointed out, if you're ever in a situation like you guys where you had unused tickets from a previous trip due to natural disaster, so you got to keep them and move them, but make sure you guys keep any confirmation codes, anything that Disney gives you, because you had that with you.
I did.
And it came in like they needed
and it was crazy.
You said they might have been able to help without it, but it made the process quicker.
Yes.
That you had that confirmation code with you and all of that.
And he was super happy that I had it. Like when I pulled that out and I was like, oh, this is from those tickets. And he was, because I kept looking and he was like, really?
Yeah.
Yes. And so I slid it over and my kids are like, really? You had it? And I went, yeah, it was in the same purse the whole time. In my Lululemon bag. Yeah. So anyhow, so we got that fixed. They waited for us. They did not go get in line.
Okay.
They were waiting for us over by Cosmic Rays, and
they got some castle
teacups.
pictures.
They did some
chose
great
to use
castle
their time
pictures
for that.
on the way, and then we went on to Peter Pan with the new rope drop. And I'll just say this, guys, it's different.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not terrible.
Yep.
It's just different.
Yeah.
So we ended up in what appeared to be a really long line, but to kind of give you the idea of what happened, the rides did not start with the new rope drop. They're not going to start till they're supposed to, or when they deem they're supposed to.
Yeah.
That day it was 8:30.
Yeah. Started
at 8:30. That's when they turned them all on. So anyhow, we were in a long, and that Peter Pan, y'all know.
It whines.
If you know, you know. We were outside the queue in line down by Columbia Harbor House.
Yeah.
And so by the time we got through, though, with, like I said, we didn't have to get rid of our wagon. We didn't have to park it. And so we got on and off in 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
And we were
not
at the front. We were at the back.
Yeah.
So we walked on. We got our Peter Pan. They had to go to Bibbidi Bobbidi. And we took our other little friend. And we went and did Winnie the Pooh.
Oh.
Yeah, while they were there. And we had like 10 minutes. Like we got in line for Winnie the Pooh at 10 minutes till 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so really we got two things done.
2 rides in for early entry.
Yeah. And I'd say for about the past year and a half, that's about average.
Yeah.
I have done
maybe 3.
Yeah. And I have one time or maybe twice done 4.
Yeah.
But most of the time, 2 or 3.
You said you were a little bit delayed getting back there because of the ticket mishap. So if you had gotten in as early as you were planning on being there, you maybe could have squeezed in a 3rd. So definitely not out of the question to get 3 in. But typically, if you're going to rope drop Magic Kingdom, probably 2 to 3 experiences before everyone else gets to dash back there.
And I would say while they were at Bibbidi Bobbidi, which ended up taking them 90 minutes, I think they say it's anywhere from 30 to 90, and that is based upon your package.
Yes.
And they did not go top package. I think they went middle of the road.
Yeah.
So that was the dress and the hair. All the stuff. All the stuff. And she was super cute.
Dust.
Oh, super cute. Got her
she
own
looked
wand.
Adorable.
Yep. Hit brother with it a bunch.
Oh,
and,
no.
You know. That's what
As
kids do, right? Yeah. So while they were there, we did Pooh, Small World, Dumbo, and then we met them at the carousel.
Okay.
So they even had one in there. And then we did Haunted Mansion. We split up for our food choice for lunch / breakfast. Because they are not super breakfast people.
Yeah.
They went to Columbia Harbor House. I think had a couple lobster rolls, and the little people maybe had some chicken, and the rest of us went over to Sleepy Hollow, got our Nutella waffle with the fruit, and coffee, drinks, whatever. Met back up. I'm trying to see here. And we did a few more. Oh, some of us had the Tron.
So yes, you paid to do the individual lightning lane for Tron.
Got it. Went and headed over there for the
which
ILL.
Is now, moving forward, Tron, Tiana's, and Guardians over at Epcot are all standby queues now.
Yep.
So
they are
long. Yep.
They're long.
So just be prepared for that. Your options now are standby, or you can get the individual lightning lanes. Tiana's is part of the regular lightning lane, so that one's nice. Yep. But just be prepared.
So we all had our food. That was great. And then did Tron. Then we all met over at Dumbo for my little friends who wasn't on Tron. So they kind of went over there to do that with the DAS.
And that's what happens a lot when you've got the mixed groups, right? You have your taller adult folks that can go on the big rides like Tron, and then you split off and hang out
And
in
I've got a
Fantasyland.
couple big folks that won't
Right.
do Tron.
Yes.
So they did not participate. So
Yeah.
they went and did Dumbo while we were over there. We got some LeFou's brew.
Oh,
I tried
love
the new
it.
creme brulee croissant.
oh, that sounds great. Was it as great as it sounds?
Yeah. So if you're a person that needs your pastry to be hot, not for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's a cold pastry.
Okay.
Not cold, but I
Yeah.
guess, I mean, cool. And it does have like the filling inside, kind of
Oh.
like a custard in a donut.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I liked it.
I would like that.
The littles liked it because I was
Yeah.
feeding it to them. Definitely would get that again. I'm trying to see here. We did lightning lanes for The Little Mermaid, PhilharMagic. Some of us went and did Standby for Pirates.
Okay.
Yep. And then Cinderella and while we were doing Pirates, our little friend in our Cinderella dress was
Went to
meeting.
go meet
Ellie Grace was meeting
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Oh.
And Tiana, she is a ham, but she loves to have that picture made and posed.
So cute.
And she knew she looked cute. They went back to do the silly sideshow characters
Okay.
and had to do Standby. And let me say this. For some characters,
Mm-hmm.
you could most definitely do the DAS.
The DAS.
But
Not
they do not
all.
include all of them.
Okay.
They're different at every part.
Yeah.
And so it just is what it is. And I think it's meant to help them not clog up lightning
Yeah.
lanes, right?
Yeah.
And
which
so
is
they're
fair.
going, and no one gets the lightning lane the characters.
Yeah.
Remember they took
not a
those
thing
out
now.
Yeah.
Currently.
So then,
Could change.
let's see here. We had a great dinner at Tony's.
Mm.
Love the shrimp scampi there, and all of that. We did had a couple more lightning lanes, Tiana's and Seven Dwarfs.
Nice.
Yep, paid for that
Good
one.
way to round out the evening.
And then wasn't sure if we would do the happily ever after or not. Some of
Yeah.
us, producer Courtney, can't live without it.
I don't blame her. It's a
I
great
know,
show.
it is a great show. But we did end up doing that.
Okay.
And here's the reason. Like we had done pretty much everything.
Yeah, you guys had a great day.
And so like we could have maybe tried to write a few more things.
Yeah.
It was really busy because of spring break.
right.
And so the lightning lanes were gone
Yeah.
to anything that mattered.
Yeah.
And then we wrote everything else.
Right. But I
Like-
mean, considering that it was spring break and you guys were able to utilize lightning lanes and standby lines and you got everything done.
Yeah.
Like that's great.
Yeah, like we didn't the things that we didn't do at Magic Kingdom, and if they're important to you, you should do them.
Right.
I love the Carousel of Progress. I'm one of probably 5 people in
I love
America
it
that
too.
still love it. I love to sing it, but
Yes.
everyone else doesn't love it
Yeah.
in my family.
So you didn't
So
do it.
we didn't do that one.
That's fair.
We didn't do the People Mover.
Yeah.
We didn't do the Tomorrowland Speedway.
Right.
We also the spaceships.
Oh, Astro Orbiter.
That's down.
Yep.
We didn't do that. Producer Courtney, anything else we didn't do? Oh, some of us rode the teacups. Some of us didn't ride
Okay.
the teacups.
Not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Other than that, I think Jungle Cruise.
Okay. Didn't do Jungle Cruise.
Oh. And we didn't do the leaky tiki.
Oh, the tiki room.
Yeah, we didn't do the tiki time. I also love that. The rest of the family does not.
Yeah.
And I make up the words to the song. Hence, it's the leaky tiki. And didn't do a Dole Whip this time.
Oh man.
I know you're sad about that. No exploding
It's
Dole
okay.
Whips.
The last time was a bit of a scarring experience, so I might skip it next time too.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
go
we-
in the winter and have one.
Yeah, we didn't do that. So we did the show, and then everybody kind of closed out with some shopping down Main Street, right?
Okay.
But some of that's under construction,
Right.
right? But overall, I mean, I feel like we had a very successful time,
That's
and that
a
day
great,
was really great.
Magic Kingdom day, especially on a spring break. So
Yeah, and it was, and I think that, and the buses ran really well that evening.
good.
Funny thing though, you think when you're staying at a higher level resort that you're always going to get on the bus sooner than your friends.
Not
And
so much.
let me just say this, folks. The All-Stars have the most buses.
They do.
Everybody else has some buses,
Yeah.
but like Port Orleans French Quarter
Yeah.
probably only has one bus in rotation, maybe
Right.
2, right? So it's going and coming and you're waiting.
Yeah.
So anyhow, but it wasn't bad. I mean, we waited 10, 15 minutes. It
Okay.
wasn't terrible at
Not
all.
bad.
And then we had our Thursday, and that was our Hollywood Studios, again with the rope drop.
Yeah.
And we kind of had a plan there anyway. They met us there. we were in line, and we kind of split up.
Okay.
So that some folks could go maybe rope drop during early entry, rock and roller coaster,
Okay.
and tower.
Yeah.
Okay, well, they're doing what they've been doing at a lot of places, which is rocking was a delayed
opening.
Yes. They love to say that, delayed. And they got the little people with the signs. So they did Tower of Terror.
Okay.
We got some coffee, and we had to go to the baby center.
Oh.
Yeah, and let me just say, for those of you that have littles and you may have forgotten something, they have these great vending machines. They also have pacifiers in there, and I don't know how I would know that, but I know because I bought some this time. 3-pack for $2.50. Only thing not overpriced at Disney.
They're having mercy on the
and
parents
it saved
at that point.
all of our day. It saved all of our
Like,
day.
if you're having to come to a baby center to get a pacifier out of a vending machine, you're probably having a rough moment. So we're just gonna.
I would have paid $50. I'm just being honest. I hope Disney's not listening and charging it, but I would have paid $50 for that pacifier that day, and so would my friend. Trust me, because she even said, Becca said, I think it's gonna cost $50, and I was like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just go away. And I was like, it's $2.50. I probably would have bought 3 packs. I kid you not.
But you got the last one, right?
Got the last one.
Yeah.
That machine had been hit. I don't think there was much left in it.
A lot of babies having some moments.
You got it. It was spring break. Yeah. But it is great because you can breastfeed in there.
Okay.
Nice chairs to sit in. And it's always air conditioned. So if the baby needs to be cooled off. And that's important for us because we're going in May, and the family that we're going with will have an almost 3-year-old, not quite, and 2 7-month-old twins, right? Yeah. So they may need that, and there's one in every park. The sad part is a lot of times they're at the front of the park.
Okay.
Sorry.
So if you might have a long hike.
So for us, we were in Hollywood, and we had made it to the trolley.
Just gotten there.
Yeah, to the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Really. And so we could just go back up. So it was a great day there. The weather, we couldn't have asked for better weather all week.
Awesome.
I got Passy pickup. We did Mickey and Minnie's, and Ellie Grace got to ride that, and I think she loved it. I don't think she was sure she was going to love it, but she did like it. And we did that as part of early entry. We didn't have a lightning lane.
Nice.
Yep. So they did Tower of Terror, Coffee Passy, and then the Mickey and Minnie's. We did the Frozen sing-along lightning lane.
Oh, yeah.
And here's what I will tell you. With the lightning lanes, just a tip, always try to get an early one at park open or just after, so like 9 or 9:05, because in parks where it's tiered like Epcot and Hollywood, it knocks your tier out. You're now done,
and now you can get a more high demand ride at that point.
Yeah, so I mean it makes sense, right? And so we actually did that. We had to meet Buzz and Woody. That was big time on our list. Buzz we met very quickly.
Yeah.
Woody was not quick. It was probably 30 minutes, though. And while they were in line for that, I went to get our handy dandy Pop-Tarts from Woody's Lunchbox and a little beverage, and everybody got a little sugar, and I think that kind of helped everybody.
Midday sugar break.
You got it? And then we were at Toy Story Mania, and then we did the Disney Junior Dance Party, and we all went, but the littles were down on the floor, and they liked that.
Did you guys get to do the flying saucers?
Some got to do it.
Oh.
So here's what happened with that. It was down all day.
Oh, no.
And I love those.
Yeah.
My family doesn't necessarily, but I love them and love to ride them. They just make me smile. But my little buddy did
he get to do it?
Yes.
Oh, yay.
Garrett got to do them, and so they got to use the DAS, and that's why we didn't get to ride it with him. But we got to take the pictures, and we got to see him smile, and he threw his arms up.
Oh, so
he had his arms in the air, and he was tall enough. I bet he made it by like 2 inches.
Oh,
he was so cute. And he loved it, and Ellie loved it too, and they rode in separate cars, and so that was great.
Good.
We did lunch at Backlot.
Oh, yeah.
Good
My
burger,
fave spot.
the Wookie cookie, that kind of thing. I think they did a single rider at Millennium. I can't ride it.
Oh, yeah. Motion sickness.
Rock and Roller Coaster got them. They did get a lightning lane later in the day for us, so it did come up. It did make us all late for our reservations.
For
that
your
was
dining.
Another little FYI. We were split. They were doing Sci-Fi. We were doing Mama because it's closing. And if your party's not with you, they will not seat you at check-in. Sometimes they'll go ahead and check you in and say, come back when everybody's here.
Yeah.
And just let them know that it's a lightning lane thing or why you got held up.
They'll usually work with you.
They'll usually work with you. The first person kind of let my friend think they weren't going to be very helpful, which was frustrating. I was like, no, just let everybody come back. And so literally when they came, they had to wait, I think, 15 minutes.
Okay.
And they didn't get a car at Sci-Fi, but that wasn't going to work for them anyway.
Yeah.
They got exactly what they wanted, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And my party was late too, but at a little bit lesser busy restaurant. Yeah. And so we did that. And then Slinky Dog, which is my favorite, had the lightning lane. And then we did Fantasmic.
Okay.
And that was great. Because we had, again, with the wheelchair, right? That was right up there with the wagon, except for they didn't get to see the dragon.
Oh, no.
There was a malfunction right at the dragon.
Yeah.
But I thought it would just be over and people were actually starting to leave.
Yeah.
Nope. They queued it right back up and it was the boats. It's like we went from no dragon to skip ahead to the boats. The rest of the show.
The show must go on.
That's it. And then a little shopping. And we were done. And we got back not super late. We had time to pack because we had to get out pretty early the next morning because we were catching flights.
Now you're flying back.
I ended up getting a flight back. Our friends were driving and they decided to sleep in and go to Disney Springs, but they were able to get their car loaded and everything before checkout. Just move your car. If you've got like a roof bag or something, I'd recommended to them move it up front. Okay. That way security is seeing it. Your car's not in the back. You don't have to worry about anybody bothering it. They got, I don't even know if they did lunch at Disney Springs. I feel like they didn't. They just did some shopping and were looking for a few things and then got on the road. And
if you wanted to also not wait for the bus system too, and that's your checkout day, free parking at Disney Springs. So that's always an option. You can just take your car over, park there, and then when you're done shopping, just hop on the road and get going.
Yeah. So overall, I think it was super successful.
That's awesome.
There were bumps.
Yeah.
We definitely had to pivot and do some different things due to tickets, due to reservations and lightning lanes and different stuff like that.
But all I mean, considering your plan going into it and all of your kind of must-dos, y'all were able to check all that off and even get some bonus stuff in there on probably one of the busier weeks of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Disney, and you know, we didn't spend. Let's see, I ended up at Springs twice. Okay. But neither time was extensive. Yeah. And it was good. Got some popcorn. I think on Monday, Courtney and I hopped over there for just a minute. Yeah. Just to kind of walk around a little bit and stretch our legs. And I needed a popcorn bucket because we were flying and didn't get to bring one from home. Right. And that kind of things. And there's a lot of new merch. Yes. So like if you're into the Disney merch, there's all kinds there. Disneyland's dropping theirs. You can definitely get anything you want online most of the time, except the park exclusive stuff. Right, they make you. But if you're going, there'll be plenty for you to purchase. But it was a great trip, and again, you know, having a travel planner, I will just say this: you know, Jordan takes care of all of my stuff now, and it really is helpful when you're in a pickle. Yeah. And it didn't cost you anything. Nope. She was happy to get me that hotel that night while I'm trying to deal with my airfare. Yeah. She was working on getting me a place to stay. Yep. And that just helps. And I had that with a different planner in the past several years ago. We had to drive because our flights were canceled last night.
Because you're already dealing with so much in that when something is changing, it's stressful. Right. And you're like you said, we were able to kind of work in tandem where you were getting your flight figured out, and then as soon as you got that figured out, you called me and I was like, here's your options, where do you want to stay? And we got it set up. So it's gonna be stressful, but having someone there to help, and you know, sometimes if you need your travel planner sitting there on the phone while you're still enjoying your trip. Yes. Right, if it's something that you have to call in for or get fixed, you know, it's just that extra little like helper just to be there for you.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of times, like the Bibbidi Bobbidi situation, there's just so many different things that kind of go in there. And as seasoned as I am, I can do all my own stuff. Yeah, but
it's nice to not have to.
Yeah, like I like not having to get up at 5 o'clock, and Jordan gets up at 5 o'clock for me. So so if you need a planner and you don't have one, Jordan's your girl.
Happy
She'll
to
take
help.
care of you. And other than that, yeah, we'll have another episode out soon.
Yes. I'm so happy that you guys just had a great trip. I mean, that's what we want to hear about, the awesomeness, and mixed in with how you've got to pivot a little bit, and hopefully that helps anybody getting ready to go soon. But we love to share those travel tips with you guys, and anytime we go, we'll do these pre and post episodes. We hope you guys are enjoying them. I know Michelle's getting ready for round 2 here in a couple months, so we'll be coming at you with another one, different kind of travel scenario there, different packages and things. So we'll definitely be tuning in for more of that. But thank you guys for listening to this one, and we will be back with more episodes later on. I'm Jordan, this is Michelle, and this has been the To the Magic and Beyond podcast. See you next time.
See ya.